Now we're going to add in our basement slash crawl space. And right here in the affordable house guidelines from Habitat for Humanity, it tells us that we need a crawl space that's 4 feet deep is preferred choice. Uh, you can do slab on grade construction or partial basements that are 8 feet deep. Basements are typically 8 feet or more deep. Um, Depends on where you are, what the site conditions are, what building code is for the area that you're building in. But we're just going to go with a crawl space that is 4 feet deep on our house. So here's my house. I'm going to go to one of the elevations, for instance, the south elevation right here, and I'm going to add a level. So I'm going to click on add level, and I'll just pull this down, and I'm just getting it to about 4 feet, and I'll pull this over and press escape, and I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to rename this. I'm going to, whoops, come on, I'm going to rename this. Here we go. I'm going to rename this to crawl space, and it's all in caps. So caps lock is on, crawl space. And I'll say yes to that. And if it already isn't, you want to make sure that this says -4 feet right here. So zoom back out, go back out to my 3D view. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go to, so we're going to go to the crawl space underneath floor plans right here. And what you're going to see is the outline of our floor that we created a little while ago. Now, in the architecture tab, we're going to go to wall and we're going to create a new wall style. So we're going to go to wall, and we're actually going to go and take a look for our generic 8-inch, and we're going to hit edit type, and we're going to duplicate, and we're going to name this HFH, and we're going to call it foundation, and we're going to say OK. Now, under structure, we're going to change the material here, and we're going to change the material by clicking on the little ellipsis icon, and we're going to type in, I'm going to type in concrete at the top here, and I want to use cast in place gray, and on the graphics tab I'm going to click on use render appearance, and I'll say OK and OK and OK. So now I have my HFH foundation. And what I should be able to do now, whoops, forgot a couple things. First of all, I want it to go to floor, and the finish face, I don't want it to be interior, I want it to be exterior. So height goes up to the floor, and I should be all set to start drawing this now. There we go. And I'm just going to trace the inside of my walls here. Go all the way around this. Come on. And there we go. Now I'm going to take a look at this in 3D, and we can see that the foundation is added to our house. Okay, so I'm in my 3D view now, and here is my concrete crawl space, but there is a problem because the concrete crawl space is inside of the floor. You can see it right here on my drawing. I'll zoom in. You notice the tan over here and the gray here. So what we have to do is we have to actually offset the crawl space down. Now, how you do that is we're going to left click on just one of the walls. Doesn't matter which one you choose on your house. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to get to select all instances in the entire project. I'm going to go to top offset. And I'm going to put in minus 13.5. Now it's minus 13.5 inches because the floor is 1 foot thick. That's the 11 1/4 thick joists and the 3/4 inch thick plywood. And we need another 1.5 inches for a sill plate. The sill plate is what goes between the foundation and the floor joists. So in total, that makes it minus 13.5 inches. We're going to hit apply, and I got this error message. And let's see, I'm going to put in minus 13.5 inches and hit apply. And that time it worked. I think I just hadn't put the inches mark in. Now, you can barely see this little white area here. That's the gap. If I go to my right-hand side on the cube, you can see the gap right there between the concrete foundation and the floor joists. So, back to the 3D view. Okay, now we need to put footings on the bottom of our basement, well, crawl space, and we go to structure, and we're going to choose wall right here, edit type, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to change this to HFH footing, and we're going to say OK. Now we're going to get we're going to say OK to that, and I'm actually going to go to the HFH footing on the properties bar here, and then actually I'm going to edit the type. And what I forgot to do was to change this width. It's 3 feet on here, and that's way too big. So we're going to make this 16 inches actually, and we'll hit apply and OK. Now when we come out and I click on these, what it'll do is it will put these footings on. I'm just going to get all of them that are visible in this view right now. I'm going to click the corner of my wall and keep going around just like this. Keep getting everything that's visible. Try not to forget all these little things. I did forget one here. Just making sure I got them all. There we go. And that's pretty good, but they do look a little on the thick side. So we're going to change the thickness of that. I'll just go back to edit type. I'm going to change this from 1 foot. I'm going to change that to 8 inches. Make sure you put in the inches mark and say OK. And that changed them down in size. Make sure you save your drawing, by the way, just in case you haven't. And that's what our house is going to look like with our crawl space and the footings for it.